Okay, guys, party and having a great time. Action!
Salut à toi et à tes deux oreilles, bienvenue dans Clap Clap, le podcast cinéma qui écoute les histoires de celles et ceux qui les fabriquent. Je m'appelle Quentin et aujourd'hui on fait Clap Clap dès demain sur le réalisateur danois Gustav Möller. J'ai eu l'occasion de le rencontrer dans le cadre du 4e festival Reims Polar qui avait lieu début avril, et lui il était là pour y présenter son deuxième film qui s'appelle Sons et qui raconte l'histoire d'Eva, une gardienne de prison qui est exemplaire mais qui va voir son quotidien bousculé lorsque le meurtrier de son fils est transféré dans sa prison. Embêtant, n'est-ce pas ? Le film était d'ailleurs en compétition à la Berlinale et a remporté le prix du jury jeune au festival de Reims Polar en 2024. Pour un peu plus de contexte, tu avais peut-être vu passer en 2021 sur Netflix The Guilty, qui était un film avec Jake Gyllenhaal et Ethan Hawke. Il s'agissait alors du remake du film du même nom de Gustav Möller qui était sorti en 2019. À l'époque, c'était son premier film, et il a même remporté le prix du meilleur film, meilleur réalisateur et meilleur scénario original aux Roberts, qui sont l'équivalent des Césars au Danemark. J'ai donc le plaisir de te partager cet échange que j'ai pu avoir avec Gustav, où en 10 minutes, on est revenu sur son film, sur ce qu'il a voulu raconter à travers l'histoire d'Eva, qui est d'ailleurs superbement interprétée par une actrice très connue au Danemark, Sidse Babette Knudsen. J'ai bossé mon danois, ouais. Mais aussi le challenge de tourner dans une prison. Bref, j'espère que tu apprécieras. Le film sortira en salle le 10 juillet 2024. Il est peut-être même déjà sorti, voire déjà disponible en ligne, à l'heure où tu écoutes ce podcast, alors n'hésite pas à le découvrir. Bonne écoute!
First of all, thank you for taking the time to meet me. So I wanted you to, in few words, introduce yourself and say why you're here in Reims.
Yeah,
Could you tell me more about it?
yeah. So my name is Gustav Möller. I'm a director and writer of the film Sons. That's screening here in Reims.
So you're here for the festival.
I'm here for the festival, yeah.
You directed Sons, and I wanted to know, what is your movie about?
So the film, it's about Eva. She's a prison officer that works in a closed prison in Denmark. And she's a very humanistic, empathic prison officer, trying to see the best in everyone. And basically, the film is about her whole world being changed the moment a new inmate comes to the prison.
So if you have to define with themes,
Yeah,
could it be?
I would say basically it's about an ancient conflict that's forgiveness versus revenge. And in a more specific context, it's about what I feel is the conflict of the modern criminal justice system, which is a conflict between rehabilitation and punishment.
Mm-hmm.
These are the two goals of our modern prisons, but they are directly conflicting each other. Can we balance that? Can they coexist? I think these are some of the questions the film is raising.
Okay.
Yeah.
It confirms what I felt when I
Okay.
watched it, so we're good. About feelings, what do you want people to feel when they see and they discover your story?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want the audience obviously to feel a lot of things and be engaged with the character and feel with them. And but I try not to point fingers when I make films. I don't want them to come away with a specific feeling or a specific message.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you are moved by the film. And I think different people already, just the very few screenings we've had so far of this film, people have different takeaways. Some people see this as a film with like a bleak ending.
Mm-hmm.
Some people see this as a film with a positive message and a nice ending.
Okay.
And I think that's amazing. I think that's great. You know?
Okay, so even yourself, you could be surprised about the reception of people when they discover the story.
Yeah. I think the film deliberately tries to end on with a question.
Then it all takes place in a prison, and I wanted to know a bit more about your approach of filming a prison. Did you look many of them? Why did you choose that one specifically? Isn't it too hard to film in such a space because everything could be similar? So for the shots, you have to think about it.
Yeah. I mean, definitely it was hard to find a full prison that we could film in. Like, for obvious reasons, they don't let you just walk into a prison in Denmark and film.
Logic.
So we went all over Europe and looked at, or we didn't physically go, we went to Czech Republic and some countries, but we had location scouts all over Europe looking at prison.
Okay. And that one is...
and then we ended up in our own backyard, of course. It's shot in Copenhagen.
Okay.
In a prison that was closed down in 2018.
Okay.
Originally, I didn't like that prison. Kind of what you're talking about, that everything would be too similar. But what our amazing production designer, Christina Kovac, was able to do was really transform some parts of the prison. And we also ended up mixing it with, so it's like 80% is shot, it's in this prison. And then we mixed it with like the whole tunnel system is from a hospital. The chapel is shot somewhere else as well.
So it's like a puzzle.
It's a puzzle, both to get a big and, as you say, evolving style, but also I wanted this maze-like feeling.
Okay.
I wanted the prison to feel large, but I never wanted the audience to understand where one department was in regards to another one. I wanted it to be both to as a cinematic experience, but also kind of to reflect the mind of the main character.
It worked really well, actually.
Yeah, thank you very much. But and also I want to say that like the challenging part of it, I think, is the fun part. I think both me, the production designer, and the DOP, we respond positively to saying, okay, how do we not make a monotone film, but it's one place?
Yeah.
How do we keep evolving it? You know?
Yeah, it was the challenge.
Yeah. That's a good challenge, I think. Yeah. The bad challenge is working in a prison because practically it's a horrible place to be.
Yeah, I can imagine.
yeah.
And my next question is directly connected with the thing you're talking about the technical aspect of it. I saw a lot of handheld camera, very few and specific musics all along the movie.
Yeah.
Sequence shots, a lot. Your work on the atmosphere was very specific and very important to create something heavy and cold. And for me, it says a lot about the place for sure, but also about Eva's state of mind all along the movie.
Yeah.
Were all of these choices fully natural when you think about the movie, or what inspired all of that?
First of all, we wanted to, again, make a film that was eclectic in the sense that it wasn't just one style, and we just keep doing that. We wanted, there are, as you say, handheld, but we're also working with a lot of dolly shot and static shots as well. So we wanted like a vibrant style, you could say. And we wanted, again, for the style and the look of the film to evolve throughout the film. But the core and how we worked with these ambitions was me and Jesper Spanning, the DOP, we have worked together for a long time. And our method is always the same. We look at the character's journey and the character's state of mind. And that is what we're trying to reflect.
Okay.
So that informs if it's a long shot or if it's hectic editing. The light, everything is based on the character's state of mind. So we have a conversation already when I'm writing the script with Jasper and the production designer. We're talking about these things and we're writing in location shifts and it's already the visuality, it gets written into the story, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, sure. So everything starts from her, actually.
Yeah, exactly. We have always worked like this, me and Jesper, but in this film we also wanted to push it even further and almost push it, or not almost, push it into the surreal. So, as you say, it starts off more social realistic, the style of the film, and as the film progresses, we move into almost like at points a dreamlike or a surreal mental state of mind. The lighting becomes surreal, shifting it within scenes, and you have supernatural elements, appearing in the film, and that was like a new challenge for us and something, that I wanted to. It goes from being the prison goes from being a symbol of her inner to actually becoming her inner.
Okay.
Life, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. Very interesting, actually. I wanted to know also because the international title of the movie is Sons, but in Danish is Vogt.
Yeah.
I don't know if I pronounce it well.
It's great, yeah.
Which could be translated by a warden or watcher, if I am correct.
Yeah.
So it talks, of course, about Anna's job in the prison. But for me, we could also connect it with a role of a mother, raising a child, looking after him.
Yeah.
And from that point, could you tell us more about this duel of feelings for her? Because she definitely wants to make him pay for what he's done. But her role, her job is to watch him and even literally educate him sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's a conflict for her all the time.
Yeah. Without spoiling too much, there are obviously a lot of mother-son story in this film. In her past, in his past, especially towards the end of the film. That is like the main theme of the film. But apart from that, motherhood or just being a parent, there are some striking similarities, I feel, between that role and the role of the prison officer.
Yeah, sure.
Going back to what we started out speaking about, this conflict between rehabilitation and punishment, that is the everyday for the prison officer. To find the balance of being strict with the inmate and being nurturing. That is also the role of the parent.
Yeah. Completely.
In raising a child. And if you want to bring it like even more zoom out, that is the role of society with these institutions.
Mhm.
To me, there is this is a personal story of Eva about motherhood. It's a professional story about a prison officer, and it's a societal story about rehabilitation and punishment.
Uh-huh.
But at the end of the day, parenting can be put down as a label of all of this I'm talking about.
Yeah,
You know?
clearly. And do you think mother's love could be a weapon?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, love can switch to something else to ensure justice, and in this case, vengeance, more or less, for her child, for sure. So this is a very particular love. I don't know if you're dad.
I had a daughter 2 days after we finished the
Oh, really?
film.
Congrats then.
Thank you.
And then I know the love of a child is very specific,
Mm-hmm.
very intense, because you have this particular role between protect him or her and to leave it alone.
Yeah,
But sometimes when you feel like danger for him or for her,
yeah.
it could become something else.
Yeah, definitely. I think that also taps in, again, it all taps in, I think, to the main conflict of the film. But what you're talking about, it also is something primal or animalistic, I think.
For sure.
And I think that is also like what this film is about and what Eva is about. We meet a civilized person. We meet a rational, civilized person that has rational, civilized ways of dealing with things.
Mhm.
This is the person we meet. And what happens to her is she gets faced with ultimate emotion and primal feelings.
Yeah, she's pushed at the
Yeah,
edge of
yeah.
everything.
And this can definitely also be described as, maternal feelings,
Okay, great. And are Danish people big coffee lover? Because during the movie, they always talk about coffee or drink coffee.
Really? Yeah.
I mean, not always, but I remember that.
That's,
So
that's interesting.
I wanted to know if you are...
Do they talk about coffee at any point in the film?
Yeah,
at
like
the end.
2 or 3 times at least.
Okay, yeah. Prison officers drink coffee all the time.
Okay, so...
That or a Monster Energy drink,
Mhm.
but we didn't get the sponsorship, so we stick
Makes
with
sense.
coffee. No, I'm kidding. That is their drink, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for
Okay.
everything. Could you finish with your best clap clap?
Clap, clap.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much,
you.
Gustav.
Thank you.
Enjoy Rust.
Thank you very much.
C'est ainsi que s'achève cet épisode spécial de Clap Clap sur Gustav Möller. Je te remercie beaucoup de nous avoir écoutés jusqu'à la fin. Pour rappel, le film sortira en salle en France le 10 juillet 2024. Alors n'hésite pas à aller le découvrir si tu en as l'occasion. Enfin, si tu veux laisser une petite note pour aider ce podcast sur la plateforme où tu l'écoutes, ce serait vraiment super. Et sinon, tu peux retrouver Clap Clap sur Instagram, TikTok et YouTube, @ClapClapCinéma. Prends soin de toi et n'oublie pas que le voyage le moins cher que tu pourras trouver, il se trouve au cinéma.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap.